Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sunburned Albino Plays the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, episode 4. This is a long-ass introductory trial. I'm hoping that this will be the last part of it, because I'm itching to, meet some new characters, a new part of the story. So let's barrel through it, buddy. Things are getting interesting. I mean, they've been interesting the whole time. But here we go. Let's see if I remember where we're at. The victim's death. That's right. Okay, so in the very end of the last episode, we just came to the conclusion that the victim was already dead when he suffered the burn, meaning the body was potentially staged. I think we're getting to the part where we're going to say that he was staged at some point. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem reports showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there is some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably won't pick up on it anyway, chum. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I'll have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. Oh, good. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me save, just in case bad things happen to good people. I mean, it's not, we can't really, well, I guess we could fail with, like, presenting, but, we'll press some stuff as well. Alright, we will press literally every statement, because that is simply the only way. I mean, you get extra dialogue out of it too, so it's like you want to do it just to see what they say. No idea when the poor man bit his wrist. Well, let me press you on that. But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Ah! What fun! You hadn't realized. The dear lady is absolutely right. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryanosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can. Well, I can't. Anyway. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. Well then where... Oh wait, that's right, you put it in your purse. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water. Is that right? It's disgusting. You're drinking club soda? What the hell's the matter with you? You trying to clean some windows with your vomit later? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although... although? Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table. I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. Ah! I have enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefit of others in the court, it means, bless you. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway... As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides a gunshot. I mean, if we looked at it, it was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. Bullet did not pass. Fatal image from pectoral ballistic trauma. I can't tell if it's like sort of trying to tell me that like they could have maybe stabbed him in the chest and then shot him post-mortem to make it look like a gun did it. This could be, but I'm just gonna press it instead, just in case.
Yes!
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point.
Objection!
And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Auchi is right. Ugh. Is that them trying to tell me that I should present that? If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without... Can been taken. Come on, English woman! Without leaving a trace, please do show me. Oh, I guess she is speaking Japanese right now. Damn, her English got lost in translation and turned into bad grammar. That's unfortunate.
Yes!
Without leaving a trace? If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death, it's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Ooh, this is the time to save, just in case they try and actually make me. We have no conclusive evidence of, like, what? He had a heart attack? He freaking got suffocated? Oh no, perish the thought! Calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question! On my honor, I, Taketsuchi Auchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions! A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. Poison. But they didn't, maybe they just didn't run a talk screen, if they even do that yet? We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. Is that your way of saying that it was poison? Is that why you took his glass? Because it would have had traces in it? Damn, maybe that's it.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that?
In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. Le Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand?
Aha! A killer blow! The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful!
Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchie is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her... excuse me, this is Japan. You can't say that. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her. Inspector Hosonaga. Dude, did he literally drink the poison? The detective? Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Did he, like, taste test the water? Like, what? Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again. Alright. Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of Great British Empire, the police for this country investigate once, that's the end of it, yeah. Quite right, yeah. Exactly, which means, yeah, vital evidence may be lost, yeah. Yes, there it is again! The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Come to think of it, why are both of them just saying the exact same thing again? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man in his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. but by moving the marker left and right with left-right, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with X, or am I chase them out of the courtroom? If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. New feature. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with left-right and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with X and see what's on his mind. Here we go! Vital evidence may be lost. Bam! I pursue you! I pursue you! Go to the right! Go to the right! Go to the right right now! Come on! Yeah, what's up? Pursue this man. Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, man. You seem to be coughing blood. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over, immediately.
Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Dude, he 100% drank the poison. Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. Yeah, like the water that's in your mouth. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that? This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming. I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Tell her to drink it. Tell her to drink it right now. Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death?
Yes, it was that bottle.
What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Okay, I see. We can present the water. It won't let me look at the court record right now. No other possible deaths besides a gunshot. If there is, please do show me. Oh, I'ma show you. Oh, you best believe I'ma show your ass right now. This bottle of water right here. Oh, don't even worry about it. And we'll have you taste tested too, although we probably won't get that far. Immediately, anyway. Let's take a look. The carbonated water, it was on the victim's table. Let me take a look. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know. No clear evidence that it was tampered with. However, I believe that I still need to show this to you.
Yes!
Ooh, I was correct. What is this, the bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order, order, order! And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Giselle Brett, it was you!
Objection!
This is outrageous! To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence! You little rookie imbecile! Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth.
Ahem. If I may, I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack on a— Shut up! It is you who should be silent. Of course. Dear lady?
Where did that come from? She just snapped.
I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies.
I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring?
I described your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not.
Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. No! Was that before or after you drank all of it? They could have been poisoned from outside the country. Oh, I thought she said, I'm very grateful to all of you in Japanese.
I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours.
I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett.
Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved.
Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point?
Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Objection. Ooh, who said that?
Oh, she speaks and makes an appearance. Please, wait. Isn't that...
What is the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Mikotoba?
In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. What? Oh my god, why is it still that these trials are the longest trials in the world? Well, let's keep it going. Can't have no 26-minute long video here. What am I, most other channels? Actually, a lot of channels will upload like literally 15 minutes of gameplay, like episodic. They're like they play an 8-hour game and they do 140 episodes on it. They're ridiculous.
Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less! The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency... I am most grateful.
Who exactly are you?
I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now.
What is it? A report about something? Written in English.
It's Giselle Brett's research.
The Englishwoman's?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper.
Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? She was researching a new poison!
I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? I've never heard that word before.
Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it.
I'll do it right now! Curare. Oh, okay, don't add it into the court record. Yeah, that's cool. This is wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, there it is. Oh, an unknown poison. Wow!
Goodbye then, and good luck.
Okay, yeah, bye-bye. You have had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now, one last time. Let's examine it. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Affects instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. through a wound. Oh, okay, can't poison him and then they poisoned him and then shot him? What? Hold on. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, the solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Damn, there it is! Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence! That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency.
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer?
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid... it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett, it seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? It's my university collar pin! There it is. I don't want to examine that. I want to present it, please. Thank you. Do it!
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel?
A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death. What complete and utter nonsense! Curare, you say? Never even heard of it!
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct, which means, no matter what tests the police could do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
Order, order! And another order, for sure. Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain. The other diners would have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. We read the book, it's paralysis, there you go. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense.
What a happy tale for a fucking murderer.
Ahem, if I may. All these facts. You think you're so clever, but you must be taught some— Shut up! It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady? So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it?
What?
You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime, that really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it! The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules!
What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see, why not?
Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Sorry?
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers!
Wait, what are you doing?
No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
Damn, she sure showed me. Is it because he drank all of it first? But then why is he bleeding from the mouth and not just, like, not able to move? That's the real question. He just has leukemia.
Goodness, whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned.
So, no curare. The bottle was clean, is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy, but of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Gah. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given.
This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
The poison was in the glass, not the bottle, bro.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke, we have all the clues now. The bottle of water. As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle.
What? Why, Ryunosuke?
Isn't it obvious? If there was poison in there, she'd be dead by now.
Sometimes your unadulterated naivete really astounds me. But sometimes it's in need of a good staining. Until it's as dark as your uniform and the ways of the world.
Oh, is that what this color is supposed to represent?
That was a guileless ending to a
What do you mean? It's in the glass!
A bottle of water. I don't understand.
The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position.
You're serious?
Fool! Are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. How, exactly? I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court records somewhere. It has to be. Oh, it's time to save for sure. We actually made a mistake for the first time. No, my perfect, flawless lawyer record.
Very well, if the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence.
What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed? Is it the photograph of the handbag, perhaps? Hold on, okay. Not just if you open it back. Instant process, yeah. They both mentioned facts with the poison, yeah. Does it say anything about an expiration date? No, it does not. Then I'm gonna go with photograph of the handbag.
Yes!
It seems the defense, or should I say the wretched accused, is the only real source of complication in this case.
Oh my god, come on, man. Let me load the game then. LOL. I got it wrong, oh no. Okay, then what the hell is it? Sport these... Literally, then, it's got to be the bottle.
Yes!
It is not the bottle!
Oh no! This is actually one of the few, only Ace Attorney games that lets you do a mode where, like, you don't have to enter evidence. It's just, like, story mode, and you, like, you can just view the story without having to participate in the trial. I didn't want to do that because it's a little less fun, but this would be one of those times where other people probably thought I should do that. How the Windows was able to consume the supposedly poison water unscathed. It wouldn't be that. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. Wouldn't be that, wouldn't be that, wouldn't be that. I don't imagine it would be this. Unless the water got poured into the flower vase thing. That would be quite the logical runaround, though. Alright, got her dental work. That's not anything. I don't understand. Is it this?
Yes!
It is not. Alright, you see what we're going to do? We are going to brute force it, because that is where we're at. At least it loads really quickly. So that's cool. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna save here, and that way when we reload it, it's faster. Usually, in the other games, they wouldn't let you save at this juncture. Like, you'd have to do it right before or something, I think. Alright, let's try this.
Yes!
Okay, it's not that. You can tell because the music didn't stop. Oh, look how fast that is. Okay, let's try this.
Yes!
Alright, it's not that. This is top-tier Ace Attorney gameplay. Thank you for coming to the right place. Thank you for choosing me.
Yes!
Is this the part where I actually... No, okay, they don't let you choose people. I was gonna say, like, maybe if we choose Hosonaga, and he ended up having drank it. We tried this crime scene photograph already, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes!
No, not the medical report card. I didn't see anything in the Curare journal that would have led me to believe that there was anything having to do with that. And yet we're about to try it.
Yes!
How? Okay, the music still didn't stop, but he's saying something different, so I assume... The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation.
No?
After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impotent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? Oh boy. Okay, well it definitely then now is this area. I'm gonna say special characteristics? Like, were they labeled as such? That's synopsis. Okay, poison may be bad. The hunters of the region have used the sensation times to incapacitate their prey. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. Effects, instant route of entry. Enters the body through a wound. Oh, special characteristics, damn! Okay, got it. Alright. I actually should have known that. We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years. to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Council, no, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew curare's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little...
That is a real goose, holy hell. Nice. Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Attention!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it possibly... Shut up! So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with, some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
What are you trying to say?
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? Flaw?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus.
Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers, what are they?
So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
Ah!
That's right.
Good gracious. Yeah, but then you laced your bullet with it.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand now.
Order! Order in the court, order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, this curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you can understand something as simple as that.
What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey!
Objection!
Ace Attorney!
I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett.
How dare you use that tone with me?
You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence, as we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare? Easy well, would it be post-mortem report, or would it be the photograph of him being shot in the chest? Maybe both of them work? They do that sometimes. I'm going to say the postmortem report.
Take that!
What do you mean? Sorry, Counsel, but the slipshod manner in which... Dude, it's the same evidence. It's the gunshot, bro. Act like I don't know what I'm talking about right now.
Take that!
What? Slipshod manner in which you've tossed that evidence before the court does not inspire confidence. Huh? Listen, Ryunosuke, there's no need to overthink this. I'm not overthinking it! I am not overthinking it. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the car? Because of the freaking gunshot, bro! Those are the only two things! What do you mean? What do you mean? Hold on, I'm presenting it again because maybe they were like... Maybe they're just trying to bullshit me right now. Okay, there's no need to overthink this. We know that Curari's toxic effects only come into play when the poison enters the body via a wound. Yeah! That's probably why I'm entering a photograph of a wound! You must have had a wound somewhere. Yeah, you don't say. So we need some evidence that would prove the professor had a wound... Oh, inside his mouth? Oh! So they're not trying to say that she laced her bullet with it. Even though you literally... No, because I guess he would have had to have been dead before. Alright, I see. Like, he was dead when they brought the stake out to him. But I just know he can't have been dead too early because frickin' our little ace attorney went over and talked to him while he was alive. Alright.
Take that!
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound, which makes no sense, by the way. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. Like what, is it? It interacts with blood? There's blood in your body. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Ah! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. Ah! So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy, you'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No! I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! Hello, evidence tampering. That's literally a crime. She just smashed that bottle. What a terrible blunder. Oh yeah, she did that by complete accident, bro. Wow, oh my god, how could someone be so careless? Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible at once.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy, but I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? There really was poison in the bottle, or not? And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course, of course! You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady? That's right. Oh, that's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy. No, you killed the victim that day, using karate. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor. Why would anyone just pick up a gun? Before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see? You had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. How can anyone in this courtroom not immediately just be like, yeah, she did it. She literally broke evidence in front of everybody, purposefully. Why is this still happening? This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? Damn, alright, that's gonna do it for this episode. That was even longer than usual. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino, and I'll see you guys next time.